You ever feel like your life just ain't going nowhere? Like the trajectory of your life is just one downward spiral of misfortune and failure? I think mom and dad were right about me. I'm a fucking embarrassment. I peaked in middle school during a dodgeball game when I blocked one of the balls from hitting the popular kids, and they all invited me to sit at their lunch table just to call me the dodgeball god. But they were actually all just being ironic and making fun of me, but I didn't have the social skills to understand I was being bullied. They all treated me like a celebrity and like I was one of their friends, but in reality they were just trying to milk me for any other awkward social ineptitude to make fun of me for. Or at least that's some shit that I would have said if I grew up as a bitch-ass pussy. While you had your nose in a gay little notebook studying for the SATs, I was selling rocket-propelled grenade launchers to Boko Haram. When you were getting picked on in the locker room, I was smuggling arms to Syrian militants. I was selling classified Air Force documents to the Chinese while you were playing Animal Crossing. I overthrew a democratically elected government while you were in gym class. While you were getting nervous over your crush in third period, I was inadvertently funding a genocide in East Timor. When you got your first job at Dairy Queen, I was hiring mercenaries in the Congo to secure a lithium mine. I'm running so many guns I made that Lord of War movie with Nicolas Cage look like a Comic-Con meet and greet. By the time you cashed your first paycheck, I was moving blood money through Swiss bank accounts. When you were getting your diploma and graduating, I was facing extradition charges to 6 different countries. I sell so many guns I make Smith & Wesson look like a lemonade stand. I'm lobbying Congress to raise the debt ceiling. I'm funding political campaigns in the Levant region to sow political discord for my own financial gain. The only man I'm loyal to is Ben Franklin. I'm one of the most successful young entrepreneurs alive, but you wouldn't know it because the corporate-controlled media is scared of me. Some people say I'm an underachiever, but I completely disagree. I'm a total disgrace to my entire lineage of ancestors who survived disease and starvation to get where I am now in the most successful society of all time. Yet I'm still lagging behind where my grandma and grandpa were at my age. At this point in their lives, my grandfather was settling down with his wife and considering whether he wanted to take a mortgage out on a backyard with a pool or a front deck with a grill and a white picket fence. Boomers literally had parents who were so shell-shocked by the 2 world wars that they instilled values and work ethics into their children and into their society that just made them more productive on average. I mean, you look back to the 50s and 60s, everyone's morals were all based around the church, they were all on the same boat there. You got your first job delivering papers at 4 a.m. at 9 years old, you work odd jobs until you're out of high school, then you hit the workforce and you work at a factory for 50 years. Life was very simple for the majority of people. No one had an infinite amount of media showing people how much better their lives could be. No one was scrolling through Dan Bilzerian's Instagram and seeing him posted up with 19,000 models all there to suck his dick dry for clout. Vapid things like that just didn't matter. If you found a girl or a guy in your local community who had a similar upbringing as you and dedicated yourselves to each other and got married and had kids a few years down the line, that was like the normal thing to do. The idea that opposites attract is pretty stupid. The best relationships, romantic or otherwise, form when 2 people share the same values as each other. They like the same stuff, they bond over the same activities and way of thinking. It's pretty simple. Humans like things that are like us. And way back when society was much more simple and everyone based their beliefs on the Bible and their social norms, everyone basically had the same things they valued in life, making it a lot easier to find a partner and make plenty of friends. That's probably one of the many reasons why it was easier to find relationships in the past. Not to mention, nowadays, people are much more hesitant. This can be taken as a bad or a good thing, but the reason why people in the modern age are so hesitant to get married or have kids or even commit themselves to anything more than friends with benefits or a situationship is that you see so many people being happy online with their lifestyles and their significant others carefully curated for you to look at them through, that you just assume and expect that you could have that same relationship with someone else. You're overly critical of a potential partner, assuming that they won't be good enough for you because of your experiences. You're overly critical of a potential partner, assuming that they won't be good enough for you because of your expectations. The older generations didn't have the same perspectives as us. Same goes with a career or a way you want to live your life. You see so many people living idyllic lives through their online personas that you don't want to settle for a normal, simple life that could bring you fulfillment. It makes sense how our grandparents and even our parents to a lesser extent were able to get their shit together so early. They just appreciated what they had and focused on the real world around them, with their career, community, and family, without insecurity bogging them down and robbing them of motivation. Yet here I am, haven't seen pussy since the day I fell out of one, sleeping until 2:30 in the afternoon, and slamming Hot Pockets and chicken tendies that mom bought with the social security, lobotomized in my room all day by the media. So many young people in the modern age are so bombarded with constant media stimulus that your body has no idea what it should actually be focusing on. Your attention span devolves from one solid stream to being diverted to several weaker channels. This lack of focus, or lack of better phrasing, kind of makes you a loser. Or I think it does for me at least. If you can't focus on anything, it's inevitably going to sabotage your ability to learn and pick up and process new information. Your ability to pick up social norms is going to affect your confidence. Hell, a lack of focus is probably why there's an ever-increasing puddle of piss next to my toilet seat. If you don't have things like a fulfilling job, useful skills, hobbies, a relationship, kids, a solid circle of friends, then it's pretty difficult for you to feel good about yourself and feel motivated to do things. Our minds are problem-solving machines. Even the most booger-swallowing, smooth brains have the ability to solve problems. And when you spend all day in a job, you don't really solve meaningful problems. If you're just flipping patties or scanning barcodes, your brain finds an error there. Your actions don't mean much to the world because you're just another easily replaceable droid. In the modern day, it's concerningly easy to damage a person's attention span. It makes sense why this generation especially has such little motivation to do things like leave their bedrooms or pick up new hobbies or make friends. The reason you do all these things is the experience, the good feeling of doing them. No shit, right? It doesn't take a neurosurgeon to make that observation. But with this hyper-stimulating media, you don't need to do anything to get the stimulation. You can just doom scroll on your phone, not moving until the sun goes down. Now here's a little armchair psychological theory fresh out the dungeons of my mind, but perhaps the reason why so many people are made depressed as a result of overstimulation is that stimulation is supposed to be a reward of sorts for doing something usually challenging. But when you get it for basically free, your reward centers can't keep up with the constant stimulation. If you keep flooding your brain's reward receptors at the rate that they get burnt out worse than the Challenger shuttle's rocket boosters, you're gonna be lethargic, lazy, and lack motivation. You think of the classic metaphor of the man riding a mule with a carrot on the stick. The mule knows it's eventually going to get the carrot once the journey's over, but if the mule eats a 3-course banquet every day, a simple carrot won't even be enough to get it to stand up. When your reward receptors get burnt out by meaningless stimulation, it causes you to have a sharp decline in motivation to do anything. I think it's probably no coincidence that the days I feel the most lazy and depressed and unmotivated to even move my body are the same days that I flood my mind with constant and worthless but stimulating distractions. The sensation of time flying by so quickly in front of you as you age is so intimidating. Every year just keeps getting shorter. Despite there being a good half-century of my life ahead of me, I still feel inadequate with myself and can't shake the feeling that I'm still wasting every day. That grass is always greener mentality has been with me for a while, and to think of what I could have done, or dwelling on what I could be doing better, and wallowing in my own self-pity, I accomplish nothing but adding another tally on the board of wasted days. When you truly embrace staying at a low stimulus threshold, your general happiness and motivation will improve. The introspective thoughts that you have in the trunk of your mind will finally take the wheel, and you'll have nothing else to focus on but what matters.